Touring LE, and I have a bad inner idler wheel. The replacement on this is not extremely easy. From what I can tell, a lot of stuff has to come off. There is a shock with a spring that is attached to the same bracket that the wheels are attached to, and there is a shock back here. So I have taken both of these side bolts out. I took these other two idler wheels on the outside on both sides off just to get these bolts out to make it easier. So I have to figure out the best possible way to do this, and I will see what else has to be done. Taking this bracket off, there does seem to be some downward pressure on this from the shock, I'm assuming. So I've got a crowbar here that I'm going to use to take a little tension off of it as I'm taking this out, and then I'll do the same for the other side. This bracket came off. The whole track undercarriage slid forward, and I got a lot more play in the track. So this is moved a little bit here. This whole thing came up, and you can see I can remove my spacers and everything, and I'll be able to take both wheels off and replace them, and hopefully it goes back together easy. Off of the shaft on both sides. I had to softly tap them out. But what I didn't realize is that each inside idler wheel had a plastic sleeve in the bearing. That was one of them was busted up pretty bad, and then I broke the other ones a little bit trying to get them out. Well, one of them is pretty good, but they went inside the bearing and they were in there pretty tight. So the wheels that I bought were a non-factory OEM part. They of course didn't have it. So I am going to look online, see if I can find that sleeve. If not, I'm going to see what I can do to make it work, because I don't want to have to buy another part or another whole wheel. I put my new internal wheels on, put the washers on, put these shims on, and this mechanism is kind of loose underneath here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to line the track up to get these bolts back in for this arm. And what I've done is I've put a ratchet tie-down strap, hooked it to the end of my trailer, and I'm pulling the track back that way to get these to line up. It's not completely lined up yet, but we're really, really close. So I'm going to put another strap on it and pull it back another 1/4 inch or less. And make sure you lift the back of it. It works easier when the track is off the ground. So I pulled my track back, snugged it up pretty tight. These holes have not lined up quite yet. So what I did was I put a ratchet strap, if you can see it, from the base of where the shock is, the mount where the shock sits, and up around the top of it. And I started snugging that up, which brought the internal wheel mechanism in line right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put those bolts in, and then I'll work on getting that one in. Once this is in, this should line up a lot easier. Got these bolts in on both sides. Haven't tightened them up just yet, but they're snug. Then I took and I moved the tie-down strap, the ratchet strap. I strapped the one end down here, and then I went all the way up to the top of the shock mount, and I hooked it right there. You can see it. And I slowly started to tighten it, and it brought this hole in line finally, right there. So I'm going to slide my washers in, and I'm going to put Loctite on those and snug those down.